Greetings, happy Tuesday. And tonight I'm going to give you an overview, a more detailed overview of the course. Now, before I do that, some of the issues that we had with Macmillan and Achieve in the textbook have been sorted out. At this point, you should be able to click on the textbook link in the course resources, and the textbook should open up for you. Um, You don't have to buy anything from the bookstore. It's already paid for with the course. So that's a plus. So when you get a chance, in fact, let's just go over and let me go over there and show you. Mhm. All right, so down here in course resources, the textbook should be able to click on here. If you haven't made an account. So go ahead and make an account, create an account if you haven't. Click on the textbook and it should come up. There we go. When I assign readings, though, if you like, you can have the book read to you, treat it like an audio book. You can use it here, but the best way to use it is to click over here where your name is and go to Read Book on Vital Source Bookshelf, and then open it up from there. Because reading it from here or having it read to you from here, um, whatever your settings are, like the voice that you use, that you want it to use, and the speed, it saves. So it saves over here. And the other, on the regular plain version, it doesn't save. So, all right. So, very first thing to do, if you haven't already, is to go to the Start Here folder, read the syllabus information, do the technology requirement check, and do the no-show assignment so that you're not dropped from the course. Now, let's look at the course and assignment outline. So first thing, here I have preparing for English 1101. These are exercises from a website called chompchomp.com. And chompchomp.com helps with grammar. These are web pages with exercises for certain grammar things. As you can see, fragments, comma splices and fused sentences or run-on sentences, pronoun agreement, subject-verb agreement, word choice. These are these are pages that I would use to tutor people to take placement exams and to score high enough so that they can get into a certain class or in a accredited class. It works. If you know you have grammar issues, go ahead and do these exercises. And if you get an 85 or higher on a certain subject for grammar, then you're good with it. If you get below an 85, then do another exercise in that subject area. Every time you get one wrong, read the rule. The rules pop up so that you can read them and get them locked into your mind so that you can, you know what the rules are and so that you can write correctly. And every once in a while, if I notice that you have certain errors in your paper, a pattern of errors, I'll suggest that you do one of these. The course cornerstones. These are the writing process and the 5-paragraph essay structure and strategy. And these are going to be the first lessons that I give you. Um, I'll give you our first lessons next Monday. Just because this week, all I want you to do is to do the no-show assessment so that you don't get dropped from the course. And so that all of the kinks and glitches get worked out of Achieve and Blackboard. And then we'll start as normal. We'll start as if next week is the real first week. So yeah, I'll give you these, but you can come in here and click on these and get the lesson ahead of time so that you're prepared if you want. The first major assignment that we have is the narrative essay. In this essay, the focus for your score is going to be 5-paragraph essay structure and strategy. So essay structure and the writing process. And when I say the writing process, you'll see that there are 3 parts of the writing process that I focus on in that lesson. When you turn in a rough draft, you get 50 points for submitting a rough draft on time. When you turn in a final draft, your final draft is scored out of 100 points. So each major essay that we have is out of 150 points. The way that that works is that there is like a grade boost built into it. And I do that because sometimes I score hard. So this is just based on the lessons that I gave. If I give you the lesson, I expect you to know it. I don't expect you to know everything up front, but when I give you the lesson, I expect you to learn it, and I expect you to perform the skills that I taught you. And if you don't, points come off. And in each of these essay descriptions, you can see exactly where the points will come off. Uh, I won't get into detail about it until I give you this lesson, but you can see where a certain number of points will come off for missing certain skills. And in all the essays, if there's an obvious error, then a point will come off for that. Second essay is a compare and contrast essay. I call it the critical essay. It's a controversial topic, compare and contrast, argument, research essay. It's a lot of stuff in one. But last semester I did an experiment where we didn't do this one big essay. We did several smaller essays, and I think I'm going to do that again this semester. But when we get to it, I'll explain to you how that works. But for now, you can, take a look at how that essay would work if we decide to do it. The last essay is a rhetorical essay. It's an argument essay where you're going to exhibit the use of the rhetorical appeals. And you can see how points would come off if you don't perform the skills that I taught for this essay. The journal assignments are smaller essays. They're all 3-paragraph essays, and you can do those fairly quickly. Last semester, instead of doing the big critical essay, all of the smaller essays were these types of essays. So if you want to get a glimpse of how these work, how they might work, it's right here. If you complete the essay perfectly, you get 100. If you turn in the essay and it's not fully complete or it's not fully correct, you get a 50. And if you don't submit the essay, you get a 0. That's how those work. And there are several of them so that your score for the entire Essay 2 section scoring category is an average of your 6 or 7 smaller essays. Now, because they're smaller essays, I expect you to proofread them very well before you submit them. For 3 paragraphs, there's no reason why you should not be able to proofread that. before you submit it. Don't submit a small essay, a short essay with a whole bunch of errors in it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't, it might make sense to you now, but by the time we get to that, it shouldn't make, it doesn't make sense. And you'll see why once we get to it. So every week I offer extra credit, and extra credit is, unless otherwise stated, it's a 3-paragraph essay plus a 2 to 5 minute video talk. And you'll write your 3-paragraph essay, you'll submit it, and you'll do a YouTube video for 2 to 5 minutes. And you'll submit that. Once you do, if you do the extra credit, I will put your videos in the announcement so the rest of the class can see your answers for the extra credit questions. And it's all or nothing. It's either you do the whole extra credit assignment or nothing. Extra credit is worth so much that there's no halfway doing it. There's no half, you won't get half points. It's either all of it or none of it. Extra credit is worth 7 points added on to the final draft of whatever essay we're working on at the time. So let's say for the narrative essay, you get an 85 on the final draft. And let's say you completed an extra credit assignment. That 85 is now a 92. If you did 2 extra credit assignments, that 85 is now a 99. So extra credit is worth so much because it's extra writing practice. And not only is it extra writing practice, you have to perform your words. And the theory is that performing your words informs your writing. Because once those words come out of your mouth, and especially if it's live and you can see how your words affect your audience, you may have to tweak your delivery or tweak your words or tweak your message so that it hits your audience the way you need it to. Kind of like how a stand-up comedian may try out some jokes on an audience. And if they don't laugh, then they have to go back and tweak it so that the next time they perform it, they get the laugh that they're looking for. Quizzes. I give spelling quizzes, and the spelling quizzes are based on the 200 most misspelled words in the American English language. You can Google this list and have it ahead of time. I don't use all of the 200 words, and I've added like 6 words to the spelling quizzes. But when we start this, like next Monday, I'll say the words aloud to you in our video lesson. And your job is to know how to spell those words by Sunday and take the spelling quiz. The spelling quizzes are multiple choice quizzes, and there'll be 4 options for you to choose from. And so these are the most misspelled words, the words that we use the most and misspelled the most. So, for example, the word discipline. There'll be 4 words there, and the correct spelling is going to be there, but the most common misspelling is also going to be there. And then there'll be 2 other ways that it looks like it might be able to be spelled if you really have a hard time spelling. But these are particularly hard if English is not your first language, but it's good to learn how to spell these words. So make sure you know how to spell the word. Some exemplary readings, sometimes I'll assign one of these readings, and they are so popular that there's links to them, and you can read them for free. There's a list of no-nos and tips. Now, these are things that you eventually will not be able to use in your papers, but you don't have to worry about them until I teach why we don't use them. So you can have a preview here and look at the things that you won't be able to use. And a video list. These are videos that I usually show in class in my in-person classes when we first start the class for the day. And I'm thinking every week I might show one of these um, or some uh, educationally entertaining video just to prime your minds for the lesson. All right, so if you want to start thinking about it, you can read the description for the narrative essay. It's called Why I Am Here. And basically, you'll be talking about why you are here. And you get to choose what here means. It could be here in at GTC, here in Georgia, here in the United States, here on Earth, here in existence, here as a father, mother, sister, brother, cousin, aunt, uncle, best friend, whatever you want it to mean, you can make it mean that. And yeah, they have three main points for it, or three reasons why you are here as that thing, as that person. And yeah, create an essay on it. But we'll talk about that next week when I assign it. Now, if you want advanced lessons or lessons ahead of time, you could come to course resources and click in the video lessons folder. And these are old video lessons that I made. Uh, a few of them are a few years old. But you can, if you want to get a head start on some of the lessons that I'll be going over, some of the major lessons, you can come in here and check out the lessons ahead of time. Um, and some things might have need some updates, like the citations and works cited page, because MLA updates every once in a while. So the core logic for MLA is the same, but there are some things, some minor things that change every few years. So when we get to the time of the semester where you're going to have to use citations and a works cited page, I'll give you the updated version of that lesson. Yeah, I think that's it. So if you know this is a big tip here. So if you know that you are someone who is going to need to get an A in this course, then you are going to want to do extra credit every week. That's just what you're going to want to do. What I found is that students who get over 100 averages in this course, because they do a lot of extra credit, if at the end of the course I took away all the extra credit points, they still have an A in the course. And that's because the extra credit is extra writing practice. And the more you practice well, the more you write well. Um, so do like make up your mind early on if you either want to just create a point cushion because you don't think that you're good at English or something like that, or if you know that you're going to want to get an A in the course, then you may as well um, prime yourself to complete the extra credit assignments. There's something else I was going to say about the extra credit. Oh, there's so much extra credit in this course that you can miss an entire essay and still score well in the course. So there's always people that fail the course, and that's just based on the bell curve. There's always somebody who's going to do very well, and there's always people who are going to who are going to do not so well. But if you fail the course, if you fail this course, it's it's on you. There's no need to fail this course. There's no reason to fail this course. Um, yeah, because there's just too many points for you to earn to not fail the course. Um, so don't be that person. And if you fail the course, then just just understand why you failed the course. Because there's no need to fail the course. If you have an issue, like you're going to be out of the country or something like that, and you let me know ahead of time, then we can work out, you turning in stuff or whatever. But we don't accept late work in the English department. So if you don't say something ahead of time and you just like miss an essay and then you come back and you just say, I was in France, like that doesn't work. Read the syllabus information, know what you're expected to do, and do it. And I think that's all. So this week, focus on completing the no-show assignment and go ahead and try to get into the textbook. If you can't, let me know. And yeah, we'll be back on Monday with our first lesson and assignment. All right. Until next week. Later.